to order. We have the lower level of the town hall, Tuesday, December 17th, 2019. If we could just all please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alright, so first things first, we have a date for the next special meeting for Strawberry Fields. We're looking at Tuesday, January 14th, 7 o'clock, and that will be, well, no one has this room on Tuesday, right? No one has this room on Tuesday. I don't think anyone does. Okay. So, and that will be here in this room. So once again, that will be January 14th, Tuesday, 7 p.m. in this room down here. Okay, so we're gonna just go right into it. We have review, discuss, and act 319 Strawberry Fields. The 40B public hearing. Obviously, there's a number of elements to discuss tonight. Whenever you guys want to start with whatever you have, you want to guys go first?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, Christopher Agostino, counsel for the developer. We last met in November 14th, and at that hearing, we presented a lot of technical information and engineering regarding the plan that continues to evolve, and we also discussed Mr. Williams' peer review, and he had pointed out some specific data that he wanted to see incorporated in the next iteration of the plan set in order to confirm a few delicate areas of the project site that are adjacent to some abutting properties and where drainage has been a concern on prior iterations of development on this, or proposed development on this particular site. We also discussed, continued to discuss the board's peer review expert for traffic concerns, and in particular we discussed sight lines and how they relate to the proposed entrances. And what came away from that hearing was a list of additional detail that both Mr. Williams and Mr. Feisel wanted to see between then and this hearing. So we did an additional submission earlier this month, around December 2nd, where we submitted an updated plan set that included more details in terms of drainage calculations, sizing for the basins, and additional information that hopefully at this stage would give Mr. Williams a comfort level from a preliminary standpoint, understanding that we've discussed all along, we still have to come back with final plans to demonstrate compliance with the stormwater management regulations. But at least at this stage, we hope that we can demonstrate preliminarily that the design is feasible and that there are no critical deficiencies that might prevent us from building the project. So we submitted that, and we can hear from the applicant's engineer and the board's engineer to discuss some of the nuances on stormwater management. We also submitted additional information regarding the sight lines, including plans showing how those sight lines at the entrances lay out relative to abutting properties and some of the property lines. There were concerns raised at the last hearing that we didn't have sufficient sight distances. So we dove in a little more detail. We also, I believe Mr. Scully can answer some of the questions that Mr. Gale had at the last hearing just regarding speeds and how that data was collected. But those were the two primary focuses as far as the engineering is concerned. There was some additional discussion regarding the continued discussion about building typology, and I think we submitted some additional schematics showing generally what the units look like and how they're laid out, and how they work, and why they are age directed but not necessarily age restricted. So with all that, the board's had that information for a few weeks now. I'd like, or I'd anticipate we could maybe turn it over to our design team first. We maybe take it one at a time, do drainage first, and then traffic, or do you want us to do a presentation on both and then?
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure, yeah.
It might be helpful, I'm not sure all the board members had seen the plans for extended time, maybe your engineer could explain the changes in the plans that have occurred?
Yes,
Just to update them.
right, and again, as far as the broad layout, I think it's consistent with what the board's seen, but there have been some nuances relative to the drainage that, Jacobs Driscoll can describe to the board. So we can do that, to start out.
And the bus stop too.
Yep,
Stop sheet,
yep.
right?
Yeah.
So we can describe some of those, aspects of the plan, so we'll do one at a time?
Sure, yeah.
Great.
Mr. Chairman, could I just raise a quick point of order? There was another member of the board
Yeah.
that was seated, who I believe has already missed a meeting under the Mullins rule and is not present. And I would just caution the board to proceed without her may jeopardize the public hearing. I wonder if she's on her way or what the status of that attendance is.
Question as well. Do
I-
we have any ideas?
I've had no contact
I
with
haven't either, I haven't got any email from her or anything.
Do you have contact?
I do.
Why don't we take a brief recess and try to reach her? Because
Sure.
I do think it's important that she be here
Yep.
before we get into details of this presentation.
Yep, I'll make a motion to take a brief, 5-minute recess just to contact our missing board member.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Just gonna call the meeting, back to order, 7:29. We have, sorry, this is all set. We did get in touch with our absent member, she will be able to make it on January 14th, the Tuesday. She is I just spoke to her on the phone, she does not sound well at all.
We'll save everybody the trouble.
Yes, yeah, that would not be
Flu
good.
exposure.
Right. So, can I have?
So I guess we just wanna hear from the developer,
Oh,
how do you wanna
we
proceed?
go
Do
okay.
you wanna go forward tonight, or?
No, we'd, prefer to continue, to the 14th of January, and that way we continue to have 3 competent voting members.
Everybody else is competent.
Everybody else is competent to vote, in the legal sense. In the legal sense, sorry.
Right. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we adjourn this meeting and have it open for public input on January 14th, 7 p.m. downstairs at the town hall.
Alright, I will, just for the second, I will step down as chairman, and I will, second that motion.
It's a public hearing still, continue the
Yes,
public
public
hearing.
hearing, yep.
Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay,
Okay.
all set?
Thanks, everybody, for coming out.
Yeah,
We
no,
know volunteer boards, it's difficult, so.
Glad we caught it now, as opposed to halfway through the meeting, and it's like, geez.